Hello everyone, I welcome you again on this lecture series on transportation engineering. Till now we have studied various geometrical design features, some side distances included side distance required for stopping, that is stopping side distance. Another one was the side distance required for overtaking, that was overtaking side distance. And a side distance which is provided if we have space to provide SSD but not OSD. When we have space to provide SSD, अगर हम स्टॉपिंग साइड डिस्टेंस तो प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं बट OSD प्रोवाइड नहीं कर सकते, ओवरटेकिंग साइड डिस्टेंस प्रोवाइड नहीं कर सकते, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में we try to provide a intermediate side distance, and this intermediate side distance is equals to your 2 times of SSD. In last classes some important topics are covered. Let's discuss with the recap. One was SSD, stopping side distance, and this was equals to the time taken in reaction, and during that time the distance which is traveled, that is lag distance, plus the braking distance. Braking distance depends on various features like friction, gradient, and braking efficiency. Then we studied OSD, overtaking side distance. It includes three distances. If we talk about distance 1, it is the time or the distance traveled after or behind the slow moving vehicle. When we are trying to overtake, we take some time to decide whether we want to overtake or not. So the time we decide, we travel some distance, and that distance traveled is counts under D1. That is the speed of slow moving vehicle into the reaction. Here the reaction time t was equals to 2.5 seconds, and here this reaction time t is equals to 2 seconds. Plus, what is d2? It is the distance covered while performing this overtaking operation. When you start by getting into the opposite lane, travel in opposite lane, and then get back into your own lane. So this exercise takes you to this distance, that is VB capital T plus 2 times of S, plus this D3 distance is the distance traveled by the vehicle coming from opposite direction while we are performing this overtaking operation. So the D3 distance is the distance traveled by opposite vehicle. Here T is the time taken in the operation of overtaking, and it is equals to 4 S by A whole under root. What is S here? S is spacing required between two vehicles for safety, and the value of spacing here is 0.7 VB plus L, and L here is 6 meter length of vehicle. So we can put the values and calculate the answers. While doing SSD study, we saw that we were looking from a height of 1.2 meter, that is height of driver's eye, and we are looking at an object or obstacle which is more than the height of a semi-mountable type curve, that was 0.15 meter. So height of obstacle is 0.15 meter, and height of this observer's or driver's eye is 1.2 meter. In OSD, what we are looking from driver's eye, and what we are looking at a vehicle only. So the object will be placed at a height of 1.2 meter also. Third one was ISD, intermediate side distance, and this is the value of intermediate side distance is equals to 2 times of SSD. One more side distance we were talking about was headlight side distance. Headlight sight distance. This was actually equal to SSD. It is the sight distance available under the influence of headlights, means at night. While we are traveling at night, whatever we see through the headlights are our और is our visibility और sight distance. तो जब भी हम रात में ट्रैवल करते हैं तो उस हेडलाइट साइट डिस्टेंस को हम बहुत ध्यान से डिजाइन करते हैं, देखते हैं, और दिस शुड बी इक्वल टू SSD. So these are the various sight distances which are required on various curves. While we are designing a highway which is 4 lane having a divided carriageway, we need not to worry about any of these sight distances because it is wide enough. 4 lane highway means the size of lanes, if you consider it as 3.5 meters, the highway is more than 14 meters of width, and it is divided also, so we need not to worry about the vehicles coming from opposite direction. That's why on these type of highways none of the sight distances should be designed or should be worried about. Now, next topic, we want to talk about a vehicle which is moving on road. Let's see a scenario. This is a vehicle, this is the road, and this is my vehicle. These are the tires. This is the axle. What is the axle? Axle is the, let us say in simple language, axle is the bar which joins your two tires. And this is my vehicle. It is moving in front direction. Okay. So while this vehicle is moving in front or in longitudinal direction, let's see what are the forces which are acting on this vehicle or on the tires. The forces which are acting are, for our consideration, is the weight of this vehicle, W. While the weight of vehicle is acting, let us say these two tires are transmitting the weight equally as W by 2 and W by 2. This is a situation when there is no curve. This is a simple plain road and the vehicle is traveling in a very slow and steady speed. Not very slow, we can say in a steady speed. So this shows us that the pressure bulb which forms under this tire are of around equal this size. Let's make it equal. Yeah, so this is of equal size, means the pressure on both the tires or under both the tires are equal. Same load is transmitted equally, so tire pressure will be equal. Now I want to talk about a situation when this arrangement is little bit disturbed or changed. Look at this situation. What can you see? This is a kind of curve in a horizontal plane. A curve in a horizontal plane. What does this mean? This means we are moving on a curve in horizontal direction, and this curve has some radius. While we are moving, we can consider this we are moving around a center. If we are moving around a center, then there will be some force which will pull us out of this curve, and that is known as centrifugal force. So let's get back and see what scenario does this condition shows us. Now this is the road. The same vehicle I was using earlier is traveling on this road. The only difference is now this vehicle is acted upon by a force which is pulling it outside. Let's call this force as P. Now this is the weight. Tell me one thing, will the weight transmitted on the road by the tires will be same as in the first condition. Just imagine, don't calculate. Imagine yourself in this vehicle and imagine you are turning in this direction. So you will be pushed outside and your outer wheel will have more pressure on the road. Can you imagine it? I'm giving you a fraction of seconds. Please think about it. Imagine you are sitting in a bus and the driver is covering a curve. You will be pulled outside and your base itself turns outside and the force of the body is exerted on one side of the base. So in this situation, this pressure equilibrium which we saw here, W by 2, W by 2, transfers such a way that the outer tire will have less pressure and the inner tire or the tire towards this force will have more pressure. Let's call it as PA and PB. In this situation, PA is less than PB. Will you all agree with me on this? अगर मैं किसी भी कर्व पे ट्रैवल कर रहा हूं तो मेरी बॉडी अपने आप ही बाहर की तरफ खींचेगी एंड माय प्रेशर बैलेंस विल शिफ्ट ऑन द आउटर साइड. First, initially I said P1 as the PA as the outer side, but as P force is acting on the outer side of the radius, let us consider PB to be the outer wheel. तो जो PB है उसके नीचे हमारा प्रेशर जो है वो बढ़ेगा, हमारी जो वेट है उसका जो कंपोनेंट है वो PB की तरफ बढ़ेगा. एंड अल्टीमेटली when this curve increases or radius decreases, then what will happen? The situation will reach to a condition where this tire will have no pressure and the pressure completely shifts onto the tire B. So in this condition, the tire B will take all of the pressure, tire A is not taking any pressure, so it may remain on the surface or may not. And in condition of may not, this vehicle will overturn. So we are looking to stop this kind of condition. Our first objective of geometrical design, eliminate the accidents, and this is a certain condition for accident. Let us eliminate it. Let's look into the solution, what we can find out, what the analysis can be, and how can we solve this condition. Let us say if we are having the scenario the same vehicle we are traveling with, this is the force which is acting outward P. Let us say this is acting at the center of gravity and the height of center of gravity is small h. Fine. This is the weight which will be divided equally. So let us say this is W and it is acting at a distance of B by 2 from each of the tire at the center. The width or the distance between both the tires is B. So for this condition, if we say for what will be the overturning condition, there are two moments acting here. One moment is PH, which is trying to overturn this vehicle. Look at this moment PH. If we are taking moment about this point under the tire B, you can see this moment P by H is trying to overturn this vehicle. And what is the resisting moment? Which one is the resisting moment? The weight which is acting at a distance of b by 2 from this point. So to save this condition of overtake, let's call it we are studying conditions for failure, and our first condition, failure on horizontal curves, and our first condition is overturning. So this p force taking moment about point B, what will be? This P dot H will be equal to W P by 2. This is the condition for overturning. For no overturning, this WB by 2 should be more than PH. Let's simplify this equation. Let's put P by W here and P by 2H. So this is the condition for no overturning. If H means height is larger, this quantity will get reduced, and if it is reduced, it will definitely come down and will be smaller than P by W. Let's talk what is P by W. You know, centrifugal force. Centrifugal force for any curve can be represented by here W is the weight of vehicle, V is the velocity in meter per second, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and R is the radius of curve. Now this is centrifugal force. If I write it as P by W, I am taking W in the denominator of this P force, will have this equation as, so this P by W is known as centrifugal ratio. What? Centrifugal ratio. So now we are equating this centrifugal ratio with various conditions for safety purpose. अगर हम बात करें centrifugal ratio की for overturning, then this ratio of width to twice of height should be more than this centrifugal ratio. अगर ये कम हुआ centrifugal ratio से तो definitely हमारा व्हीकल टर्न कर जाएगा. इसका मतलब क्या है? This B should be larger. The base should have a higher value as compared to this height. और ये हमें पता है, अगर बेस की विड्थ ज्यादा होगी, हाइट कम होगी, तो सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स ओवर टॉपिंग करने में बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्टिव नहीं रहेगी. दिस वी नो. नाउ सेकेंड कंडीशन इज फॉर lateral skidding. Lateral skidding. What is lateral skidding? Let us say this is a box and it is applied by a force. What will it do? For some time, the friction between the surface and this box will resist this force, and by the time the force exceeds this friction, this box will move. This is known as lateral skidding, and the same can happen here with this vehicle. तो हमें क्या करना है, हमें देखना है वो कौन सी फोर्स है जो लेटरल स्किडिंग को रोक रही है. तो वी डेफिनेटली नो अबाउट दिस फोर्स एंड दिस इज नोन एज lateral friction, and this is coefficient of lateral friction. So coefficient of lateral friction will help us to resist this lateral skidding. कैसे रेजिस्ट करेगा? बिल्कुल आप दोनों फोर्सेस को रिजॉल्व करें. P is countered by this frictional force. Frictional force is frictional coefficient multiplied by normal reaction. So here we can convert this again into centrifugal ratio, and we can say F. This is the condition for lateral skidding failure. To escape from this condition, we have to make the arrangement so that this lateral friction is more than this centrifugal ratio for no skidding. This is the condition for no skidding. अगर यहां पे हम बात करें इन दोनों के कंबाइन एक्शन की, तो व्हाट विल बी कंबाइन एक्शन फॉर no skidding and no overturning? This P by W should be less than equal to F, should be less than equal to P by 2H. So this is the condition for no overturning and no skidding. So this is the scenario in which the vehicle is safe, but you know the value of lateral friction not that much. The value of lateral friction according to IRC is given as 0.15, and we cannot say till what speed, till what radius does this P by W value will save the vehicle from overturning or skidding. So what should we do? We should implement some kind of arrangement in the pavement itself which will help us to counter this centrifugal force. So what kind of arrangement can be made? This special kind of arrangement is known as, so you should remember this formula, and let's move on to special kind of arrangement that is known as super elevation. It is also known as cant. It is also known as banking. Now what is this? समझिए पहले, what is super elevation? When our horizontal road is going through a curve, अगर यहां पे कोई कर्व बना हुआ है, तो we should rise the outer surface of this pavement in order to have a component of weight which will balance the centrifugal force. हमें जब भी कोई रोड हॉरिजॉन्टल कर्व में जा रही हो, तो उस रोड के ऊपर जो प्लेन रोड है उसको हमें जो आउटर एज है उससे उठा देना चाहिए विद रिस्पेक्ट टू और विद पिवोट एज दिस इनर एज. हमें अगर हमने इस तरह से आउटर एज को उठा दिया, तो व्हाट विल दिस डू? दिस विल अलाउ अस टू प्रोवाइड और टू हैव अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ वेट, हमें वेट का एक कंपोनेंट मिल जाएगा जो कि इस सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को रजिस्ट करेगा। भाई हमारे प्रॉब्लम तो यही थी ना कि जो फ्रिक्शन है अगर वो खत्म हो गया, मतलब अगर फ्रिक्शन लिमिटिक वैल्यू तक चला गया, उसके बाद कौन संभालेगा? तो उसके बाद संभालने के लिए हमें वेट का एक कंपोनेंट मिल जाएगा। देखते हैं कैसे मिलेगा, पहले डेफिनेशन लिख लेते हैं। सुपर एलिवेशन, इट इज द लेटरल स्लोप और ट्रांसवर्स स्लोप provided by raising outer surface या outer edge of a road in order to have a component of weight of vehicle balancing centrifugal force। लेटरल ट्रांसफर स्लोप से प्रोवाइडेड बाय रेजिंग आउटर एज ऑफ द रोड, बाहर वाली एज को उठा दिया हमने, जिससे हमें जो सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स है उसके अगेंस्ट में एक कंपोनेंट मिल जाएगा। कैसे मिल जाएगा? लेट अस सी। लेट अस से दिस वाज आवर हॉरिजॉन्टल सरफेस, बट हमने इसको एक एंगल थीटा पे राइज कर दिया। तो दिस इज आवर व्हीकल, our centrifugal force will be applicable on the outer edge. So this is the weight component is by downward. Let us say this is the weight component, this is W. Now the component of weight which is perpendicular to the surface of pavement, here this is W cos theta, and the component of weight which is parallel to the surface of pavement, that is perpendicular to W cos theta, is W sin theta. Looking at this P, a component parallel to the surface which is P cos theta, and a component perpendicular to this will be in the direction of W cos theta, will be P sin theta. So this is the arrangement. Now let us see that one Sankat Mochan, we call the friction as Sankat Mochan. So this frictional component will be here. So let us resolve these forces and see what is happening here. After application of this theta, or after rising this road in angle, we are having this another component W sin theta. Let's get back. Here there was no W sin theta to resist this force P, but the friction only was responsible to resist it. Here friction is accompanied by another force, that is W sin theta. एक साथी मिल गया है फ्रिक्शन को, अब दोनों मिलके इस सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को संभाल लेंगे। लेट्स गेट इनटू दिस कैलकुलेशन एंड रिजॉल्व दीज फोर्सेस। हमारे पास में बाहर निकालने वाली फोर्सेस कौन सी है? P cos theta. The forces which are resisting this P cos theta is, बाहर निकालने का मतलब सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स कंपोनेंट कौन सा है, P cos थीटा, जो हमें पेमेंट से बाहर खींच के लेके जा रहा है। एंड इस बाहर खींच के लेके जाने वाले प्रोसेस को रजिस्ट कौन कर रहा है, वन इज W sin थीटा प्लस फ्रिक्शन एंड द नॉर्मल component of weight। normal component क्या है, normal component of weight on this surface is W cos theta plus P sin theta। क्या है, W cos theta plus P sin theta। क्या करना है अब, P और W वाले टर्म्स एक साथ में ले आते हैं। तो हियर P cos theta minus P sin theta and W sin theta plus FW cos theta। Let's take out this FW cos theta and divide it, or divide whole of the equation by, or we can write, just a minute, there is some error which I have done. This is P sin theta into F also. Okay, this was the error. So let us take the common out, and the common is P cos theta. So here we have 1 minus F tan theta. Okay, so from here take out W cos theta. So we have tan theta plus this frictional component. Cos theta can be cancelled out, and we can write this equation in terms of centrifugal ratio P by W. So tan theta plus F by 1 minus F tan theta. This is the whole equation. What is the value of theta? It is not very large. And what is the value of F? It is 0.15 to the maximum. If we consider maximum lateral friction, it is 0.15. So looking at the denominator, the multiplication of F and tan theta, it will be very small. It will be very small. So we can eliminate this, and also we can compare what is the equation of this centrifugal ratio. P by W was equals to V square by GR. So we can equate it with V square, the small v square by GR. And finally writing this equation as tan theta plus F is equals to V square by GR. Simplifying with the symbol, I am writing tan theta as E plus F equals to V square by GR. Here this E is nothing but super elevation. Super elevation. So this is super elevation, and this is how you derive to the equation of super elevation. So what this equation is telling you, super elevation and friction both combinedly this balance this effect of centrifugal force. जो सुपर एलिवेशन है और फ्रिक्शन है, दोनों कंबाइन होके मिल के साथ में इस सुपर एलिवेशन सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स के जो इसका फोर्स है या इसका इफेक्ट है, इसको बैलेंस करते हैं। ऐसा माना जाता है कि पहले आपका फ्रिक्शन एक लिमिटिंग वैल्यू तक जाता है, फिर हम कोशिश करते हैं अगर फ्रिक्शन बैलेंस कर पा रहा है तो ठीक है, हमें सुपर एलिवेशन प्रोवाइड करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर फ्रिक्शन बैलेंस कर पा रहा है इस सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को, जैसा कि हमने देखा, अगर फ्रिक्शन बैलेंस नहीं कर पा रहा है सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को, देन वी प्रोवाइड सुपर एलिवेशन। वी कैन कैलकुलेट इजिली द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस सेंट्रीफ्यूगल रेशियो V square by GR. What is V? It is the design speed of the road. हमने डिजाइन स्पीड्स की बात की है। हम किसी भी रोड के लिए एक पर्टिकुलर स्पीड डिफाइन करते हैं और उसके बेसिस पे सारा का सारा ज्योमेट्रिकल डिजाइन किया जाता है। तो वो जो डिजाइन स्पीड है जो हमने पढ़ी थी, रूलिंग स्पीड, that is v in terms of meter per second. r is the radius of curve. जब भी हम कर्व को डिजाइन करेंगे तो r will be fixed. r हमेशा फिक्स रहेगा किसी एक पर्टिकुलर कर्व के लिए. उसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम इस e की वैल्यू को अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. यहां पे कुछ स्पेशल केसेस आते हैं. Special cases. Let's say case 1. What case 1 says? Case 1 says if friction is equals to 0, if value of friction is equals to 0, then E will be equals to V square by GR, and this E will be known as equilibrium super elevation. इक्विलिब्रियम सुपर एलिवेशन. अगर F 0 हो गया तो हम E की वैल्यू जो हम कंसिडर करेंगे उसको कहा जाएगा इक्विलिब्रियम सुपर एलिवेशन. देखिए डिजाइन के लिए जब भी हम डिजाइन करते हैं, अगर हम जो फास्ट मूविंग व्हीकल्स है, मतलब मैक्सिमम स्पीड से जो व्हीकल चल रहे हैं उनके लिए डिजाइन किया, तो जो स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल है वो उनके लिए प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी? मान लेते हैं यहां पे हमारे पास में ये व्हीकल है, ये खड़ा है यहां पे, स्लो मूविंग है तो कह देते हैं स्लोवेस्ट. स्लोवेस्ट मींस इट इज नॉट मूविंग. दिस व्हीकल इज स्टैंडिंग. देयर इज नो फोर्स एट दिस साइड बिकॉज इट इज नॉट मूविंग. चल नहीं रहा, सेंट्रिफिकल फोर्स नहीं है. बट दिस component of weight is irrespective of its motion is working. It is working. So this will now cause danger for this vehicle. अगर ये फोर्स का कंपोनेंट ज्यादा हुआ, भाई वजन जो है वो एक लिमिटिंग वैल्यू तक चलता है सड़क पे, लेकिन इफ दिस थीटा इज मोर देन W sin theta will be more. साइन थीटा की वैल्यू थीटा 0 to 90 से 0 to 1 जाती है. इसी तरह से अगर हम थीटा को बढ़ाएंगे तो साइन थीटा इंक्रीज होगा और ये कंपोनेंट इंक्रीज होता चला जाएगा. और अगर ये कंपोनेंट इंक्रीज होता चला गया तो जब हम ओवर टर्निंग वाली या टॉपल होने वाली कंडीशन देख रहे थे या लेटरल स्किड वाली कंडीशन देख रहे थे, वो ये डब्ल्यू साइन थीटा वाला कंपोनेंट अप्लाई करना स्टार्ट कर देगा. तो वी शुड keep these things in mind while designing the road. जब हम बात करेंगे डिजाइन सुपर एलिवेशन की तो हम बात करेंगे स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल की, तो उनका प्रोविजन किस तरह से रखा जाता है. लेकिन आपको ध्यान रखना है कि स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल के लिए सुपर एलिवेशन इज नॉट वेरी गुड. इट विल कॉज दिस कंडीशन ऑफ टॉपल और इट विल अलाउ दिस व्हीकल टू स्लाइड डाउन. नीचे की तरफ स्लाइड कर जाए, ये फोर्स ये कोशिश करेगी. इसको रोकने के लिए फ्रिक्शन है हमारे पास में. तो इन चीजों का भी ध्यान रखना है, ये हम पढ़ने वाले हैं अभी. सेकेंड स्पेशल केस इज इफ देयर इज नो सुपर एलिवेशन. इफ देयर इज नो सुपर एलिवेशन वी वांट फ्रिक्शन टू हैंडल दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स. अगर हम चाहते हैं कि सिर्फ फ्रिक्शन सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को हैंडल करे, तो इफ E equals to 0, then F will be equal to V square by GR. और इस कंडीशन में वैल्यू ऑफ F will be very high. वैल्यू ऑफ F will be very high. लेकिन लिमिटिंग वैल्यू है ना, बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगी, बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है, हो नहीं जाएगी. फ्रिक्शन तो उतना ही रहेगा ना भाई, बढ़ थोड़ी जाएगा. बट इफ दिस क्रॉसेस द वैल्यू ऑफ लिमिटिंग, इफ E equal to 0 and we put a limit on this value of lateral friction, we can or we have to change this value of velocity to accommodate this radius. So these are the three conditions which we should keep in mind while thinking of this super equilibrium. एक क्वेश्चन करते हैं, के बाद देखते हैं किस तरह से ये सिनेरियो बन के हमारे सामने आता है। लेट अस से फॉर अ व्हीकल ऑफ व्हीकल traveling with a speed of let us say 96 kmph and moving on a curve of radius, call it a horizontal curve of radius 200 meters. Calculate value of super elevation this is a simple value. Then second one is, this is first, second one is equilibrium super elevation. Third one is lateral friction coefficient, and fourth one is velocity with super elevation 0. Velocity if velocity if friction coefficient is limited to 0.15 with no super elevation. Let's calculate. First one, E plus F equals to V square by GR. What we have here, value of V should be in meter per second. So how can we convert? We can convert this 96 kilometer per hour into meter per second by dividing it by 3.6. Let's do it. This is 26.67 meter per second. So let's put this in the formula right away. These values into the formula. This will be 26.67 whole square by value of G. You can take it as 10 or 9.81 into radius is 200. So let's calculate the value of super elevation. You can calculate it with me, and then we can compare the results if there is any calculation mistake. So this value comes out to be 0.36 and 2 and something on. So this is what E plus 0.15, the limiting value of friction, is equal to 0.36, and this is what E is equals to 0.36 minus 0.15, and this is equals to 0.21. Is it right? Okay, second value, equilibrium. If E plus F equals to V square by GR, if we eliminate this F, the value of E will be 0.36. Right? Then if we see what will be the value of lateral friction if there is no E. If there is no E in this equation, the F will be equal to same 0.36, and it is very high as compared to the limiting value 0.15. And if we have both of these as limiting, like E equal to 0, this is our fourth point. If E equal to 0 and F equal to 0.15, what is the value of V? So you can write it 0.15 equals to V square by G, that is 9.81, into R, that is 200. So we can calculate the value of V here. The velocity can be limited to 17.15 meter per second. So this is how you can change the design process. But this is not actually design, because we have not considered the slow moving vehicles till now. One more thing I want to tell you, the limiting values of super elevation. Limiting values of super elevation. For urban roads, the roads which are built intercity or intracity, I should say, the super elevation should be limited to 4%, or you can say it should be limited to 0.004. For plain terrain, the value of super elevation should be limited to 7%, or you can write it as 0.07. And finally, for the mountainous terrain, the value of super elevation can be limited to 10%, or you can call it as hill road, that is 0.1. So these are some values you should remember to solve the questions. In next lecture, we'll talk about the design of super elevation and some other features, including how we apply or we build these super elevations, because this is a road in plane and we have to convert it to something like this. So how this transition work, we'll talk about transition curves. Guys, if you are liking these videos, liking these video lectures, please share it with your friends so that they can also learn free of cost and get benefited with these initiative by TechU faculties. Those who are having some problems, doubts, you can join our Telegram channel or write in the comment. I will definitely reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the another lecture.